into the world, he began to enjoy the things that he was seeing. But then when it started being a famine in the land, or even before the famine in the land, the Most High had already caused to shut everything up. He couldn't go to nobody and get anything for him. So he realized that he had everything good when he was with the Father. He was like, all his substance he lost to the world. Everything that he actually needed, and not just food and money, but every substance that was going to keep him, he realized it was in his Father's house. So he, when it said he feigned in 16, and he would fain have filled his belly. He was like, under these circumstances, he was so willing to, but he didn't eat it. Feign just mean that, you know, he thought about it and wanted to. He looked at it, you know, because he know that I'm now living out in this world. I'm just like the pigs, you know, I'm just like the hoes, you know, nobody, just nothing, just slop, you know, just the world. But go ahead, bro.
No, you good. No, that's an excellent answer. Anybody else?
No, I was curious. Is this like an allegory?
No, well, this is a parable. This is what Yeshaya was speaking. Remember, you have physical and you have spiritual. This is how you got to view the Bible. The world, these people, these other nations, they don't have the Holy Spirit. So there's no way they understand what this is talking about. Okay? Anybody else? Got something, brother?
Yeah, he basically went into the world and he lost his inheritance. And yeah, he wasn't living spiritual, but he made it back to, you know, to his father, and his father accepted him anyway.
True.
Regardless of father in more than one aspect.
Okay.
And so he came back to the truth and got forgiven.
That's good. That's real good. All right. Go to chapter 15. We're gonna go up to verses 4 and 6. All right. It's gonna go hand in hand with this parable too. Then we finna cut right at the meat.
Chapter what now?
We still
Same chapter, Luke 15.
Verse 4 through 6.
And he's been giving him a lot of things. So he went back to where man should come back. How you man should come back?
We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into the meat. That was the milk part of it. That was a very good answer, brother and sister bro. Don't forget that. That's very important. The Father forgave him. All that stuff that he did when he went in the world, the Father forgave him. But now we're finna go into what Yeshaya is talking about. Oh yeah. We're finna cut out the little man, which is what they call Christianity. We're finna cut that out today. I'm gonna show y'all.
That was Christianity right there?
Well, think about the way they preach, right? When Christianity makes this sound like loving, oh, you was out in the world and now come on back and everything's forgiven, right? And this may be true, but what was Yeshaya speaking of? Who was he speaking of? See, I'm gonna show y'all something today. The Bible is self-explanatory, right? Watch. Go ahead, brother.
Luke 15, verse 4. What man of you having 100 sheep, if he lose one of them, doeth not leave the 99 in the wilderness and go after that which is lost until he find it?
Who lost?
That one man.
Who's lost?
His people,
Who's his people?
the Israelites.
The Israelites, right? But more specific, what Israelites is he talking about right now? Keep going, brother. Just think about that. Just hold that thought. Keep going.
And when he hath found it, he layeth it on his shoulders, rejoicing. And when he cometh home, he calleth together his friends and neighbors, saying unto them, rejoice with me, for I have found my sheep, which was lost.
Which was lost. The whole purpose of the Messiah coming, brothers and sisters, was to regather which was lost. To wait to understand who was lost. Who was he talking to at a specific time right here in the New Testament? He was talking to Jews. Jews only one tribe. Where's everybody else? Now we're going to get into the nitty-gritty about who the prodigal son is.
I thought he never mind.
No, bring it up.
Nah, I thought just now that I found out, I thought he's coming to the other 10 tribes, 11 tribes.
That is the 10 tribes he coming for.
Because he talked earlier on about the northern and southern kingdom. This is basically, it's self-explanatory when you have that vision of the northern and the southern kingdom, that's what he's talking about. When he said Christian will beat this up, they'll beat this scripture up and say that he's take back his son. But he's talking about two different kingdoms, two different tribes.
Yep. One father.
Brother gonna bring it out.
One father,
Mm-hmm.
two sons.
Mm-hmm.
One son went off, was hard-headed. The other son said, I kept all your commandments and I was here. But see, if you start in the New Testament and just start there, you're going to get lost. You'll take this and just go with that. Right? I'll show you exactly what we're talking about. Go to, let's find out who the two houses are. Let's go to Exodus real quick. Take this back in time. Yep. We're going to Exodus 4. We're going to Exodus 4. Verse 22.
Exodus 4, verse 22. Everybody get there? Exodus 4, verse 22. Anyone has it? And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus saith Yahweh, Israel is my son, even my firstborn.
Israel is my son. This is what Ahia said. Israel is my son. I want that to sink in with y'all before we get going. He said, Israel is my son. So now we already know who dad is, right? And now we know who the children are, right? So let's find out where the split gonna happen at. Let's go to 1 Kings, right? 1 Kings 2, 10 and 12.
First Kings 2, 10 through 12. First Kings 2, verse 10. And what has it? So David slept with his fathers and was buried in the city of David. And the days that David reigned over Israel were 40 years. 7 years reigned he in Hebron, and 3 years reigned he in Jerusalem.
Now, we have to understand something about David. When he was ruling, the kingdom hadn't split yet. It was just one whole. It was Israel, right? Keep going.
Then sat Solomon upon the throne of David, his father, and his kingdom was established greatly.
That's Solomon. Solomon is his son. Everybody knows, familiar with the story about Solomon. Solomon was wiser than any man on the planet. Nobody after him was going to be as wise. So now we're going to jump to chapter 3 of 1 Kings. We'll start at 6. So 1 Kings chapter 3, verses 6.
First Kings chapter 3, verse 6. And Solomon said, Thou hast showed unto thy servant David, my father, great mercy, according as he walked before thee in truth and in righteousness, and in uprightness of heart with thee, and thou hast kept for him great kindness, that thou hast given him a son to sit on his throne, as it is this day.
Keep on, brother.
And now, Yahweh, thou hast made thy servant king instead of David, my father, and I am but a little child. I know not how to go out or come in. And thy servant is in the midst of thy people, which thou hast chosen, a great people that cannot be numbered nor counted for multitude. Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this, thy so great a people? And the speech pleased the Yahweh, and that Solomon had asked this thing. And Yahweh said unto him, because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life, neither hast asked riches for thyself, nor hast asked the life of thy enemies, but hast asked for thyself understanding to discern judgment. Behold, I have done according to thy words. Lo, I have given thee a wise and understanding heart, so that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any arise like unto thee.
See, just like we talked about earlier, when nobody ever gonna be like Solomon ever again. That's what our Father promised him. Solomon was the wisest man that ever lived, right? Keep going, brother.
It says, and I have also given thee that which thou hast not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be any among the kings like unto thee all thy days.
Stop right there. Again, bringing it back up. Nobody was ever going to be wise as Solomon. So ain't no point even asking to be wiser than Solomon, right? In your prayers.
I thought Enoch was supposed to be the smartest one. I thought Enoch was supposed to be the smartest one.
What the scripture just said.
He's the wisest one.
He's the wisest one. So that kills that right there by Enoch. Did you see that in scripture that Enoch was wiser than him? Got to bring stuff with scriptures, right? All right, let's move on. We're going to go ahead and skip ahead to 1 Kings 9. We went over this once before in class, right? Solomon was the wisest man on the planet. Father even gave him stuff that he didn't ask for. So he got riches along to go along with this too, right? So we're going to go to 1 Kings chapter 9. We're going to start at verses 5 and go to verses 9. So 1 Kings 9 and 5.
9 and 5
Verse 9.
1 Kings 9, chapter 1 Kings chapter 9, verse 5. Anyone has it? Then I will establish the throne of thy kingdom upon Israel forever, as I promised to David thy father, saying, there shall not fail thee a man upon the throne of Israel. But if ye shall at all turn from following me, ye or your children, and will not keep my commandments and my statutes, which I have set before you, but go and serve other gods and worship them, then will I cut off Israel out of the land which I have given them. And this house, which I have hallowed for my name, will I cast out of my sight. And Israel shall be a proverb and a byword among all people.
Stop right there for brother. Keep going. This right here can be traced back to Deuteronomy curses. It's going to be a proverb and a byword amongst people go to. This is happening right now to this very day. So we already know this is proven to be true. Solomon messed up. Right? Because this was the warning that was going on that was going to happen to Israel. Keep going, brother.
And at this house, which is high, everyone that passes by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss. And they shall say, why has Yahweh done thus unto this land, and to this house? And they shall answer, because they forsook Yahweh, who brought forth their fathers out of the land of Egypt, and have taken hold upon other gods, and have worshipped them and served them. Therefore hath Yahweh brought upon them all this evil. And it came to pass at the end of 20 years, when Solomon had built the two houses, the house of Yahweh and the king's house. Now Hiram, the king of Tyre, had furnished Solomon with cedar trees and fir trees, and with gold according to all his desire. That then King Solomon gave Hiram 20 cities in the land of Galilee.
Stop right there. So just from this little segment that we just read, this was the warning that was going to go to Solomon if you mess up. If you start serving other gods, there's punishment coming, right? Our Father always give warning before he can take you down. Always. Let's jump over to 1 Kings 11, right? We're going to start at verses 9, right? If you start at verses 2 and you read to 7, it talks about the false gods that Solomon was serving because of his wives. All those wives he had, he was trying to make them happy, right? And in doing so, he went against our Father. And all of us suffer to this day because of that. And this is all we tell you, brothers and sisters. Your actions today can and will affect you and your children tomorrow. Okay? Always remember that. Okay? Keep going, brother. We starting at 1 Kings chapter 11. We're going to start at verse 9.
1 Kings chapter 11, verse 9. 1 Kings 11, verse 9. And Jehoiah was angry with Solomon because his heart was turned from Jehoiah of Israel, which had appeared unto him twice, and had commanded him concerning this thing, that he should not go after other gods, but he kept not that which Jehoiah commanded. Wherefore Jehoiah said unto Solomon, for as much as this is done of thee, and thou hast not kept my covenant and my statutes which I have commanded thee, I will surely rend this kingdom from thee, and will give it to thy servant. Notwithstanding in thy days, I will not do it for David thy father's sake, but I will rend it out of the hand of thy son. Howbeit, I will not rend always all the kingdom, but will give one tribe to thy son for David.
For David, stop right there. David was from what tribe? Judah. Right? He was from Judah. That's that one tribe. Keep going. Where everybody else? Where's everybody else? Keep going.
He says, for David, my servant's sake, and for Jerusalem's sake, which I have chosen.
Stop right there. Jerusalem. Understand something about the word Jerusalem. The word Jerusalem can also stand for Israel, meaning the other 10 tribes. So another name can also stand for that, for Jerusalem as well. We're going to get to that, all right? Let's go over to the next chapter. Actually, we'll stay in the same chapter. Let's go to verses 28, brothers and sisters. So 1 Kings 11 and verses 28.
1 Kings 11, verse 28. Everyone has it? Okay. And the man of Jeroboam was a mighty man of value, and Solomon, seeing the young man that he was industrious, he made him ruler over all the charge of the house of Joseph.
Stop. House of Joseph. See? It's Ephraim, because Ephraim is Joseph's son. We're gonna get into that too. All right? So when you see Jerusalem, do not attach Judah to that. Because you're gonna get it confused when you start trying to read the scriptures. Jerusalem can also mean Joseph, and also means Ephraim, which ultimately stands for Israel, house of Israel. This is the northern kingdom, brothers and sisters. This is how you start understanding the New Testament. This is why they don't want you going to what they call Old Testament, because you will start putting the puzzle pieces together. It's going to start making sense. The Bible's going to start explaining itself. See? You start where we started, it's easy to insert other people. Oh, this is talking about the Gentiles. Oh, this is everybody else. This is still the Israelite book, right?
So that was David's first child.
Go to, let's jump back. Let's go to verses 26. Let me show you. Go to verse 26. So that's 1 Kings 11, 26.
And Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, and
Ephraimite.
There you go. Of Zeradah, Solomon's servant, whose mother name was Zeruiah, widowed woman, even he lifted up his hand against the king.
All right, stop right there. So right there, when you see he was an Ephraimite.
Yeah, but I don't think about that. Ephraimite, I got some more like a Caucasian name, like Ephraimite, because it started like that night part with it.
Break it down.
I don't know. I just saw it. It's a Ephraimite, and I think like Edomite.
Elamite sound the same thing, but you know, Elamites are actually the Indian people. The people from India. So you can't go by just because the names sound like that. You have to back it up and verify who it is.
You got a problem.
You guys, you know,
Yeah.
Ephraimite, Amorite.
it's a lot of ice.
Yeah.
You know, Edom, Adumia, Esau, being wasted away. So you see Edom, Edomite, this, that, whatever, that's totally different from Ephraimite. Ephraim was one of the 12 tribes, Joseph's son, so you cannot mix that genealogically up with Edomite, period. The name stands for itself, you know what I'm saying? So we know what Edom means, Adumia.
Now, what does Ephraim
Esau.
mean? Anybody know? To be fruitful. That's what Ephraim means, to be fruitful.
Those are Joseph's sons, and both of them received birthright from the first son. So they hold it. You can't mix that up with Edomite, period. You can't.
Okay.
What you say, Ephraim mean?
Ephraim means to be fruitful. Everybody got it? Moving on. We on verses 28, and we moving on down. Okay? So we'll read 28 again, brothers and sisters, and we're gonna keep moving on down. Get you a better understanding of when this divide, when this split happened. Okay? Because the prophecies surrounding, again, Israel. We're going to show you that. That's why I always tell you about Ezekiel 37, which is one of my favorite scriptures, the Valley of Dry Bones. That has not happened yet. The Father said he's going to regather us from the four corners. Don't forget that. It's part of the curses. We were scattered to the four corners. There's other parables, too, that I'm going to bring out today that's going to blow your mind about those four corners. I'm going to say one thing, the name, before we get there. Cornelius. We're all familiar with Cornelius, right? Just a little hint to that parable was that he saw that sheep coming down and had four corners on it. Just something to think about. Keep that in your heads. We're going to go there too. Yep. It's very deep. It's another reason why they took Enoch out of the Bible. That's to confuse the daylights out of you. When you read Enoch, that parable, it'll hit you like that. Ah, that's what that means. That's exactly what that means. Because the Father actually called the other nations animals. He called us sheep. He called them hyenas, wolves, dogs, swine, vipers. See, when you read Enoch, now it starts to break it down. You know, start seeing who's who, right? Keep going, brother.
Start at 28 again. And the man of Jeroboam was a mighty man of valor. And Solomon, seeing the young man that he was industrious, he made him ruler over all the charge of the house of Joseph. And it came to pass at that time when Jeroboam went out of Jerusalem that the prophet Ahijah, the Shilonite, found him in the way, and he had clad himself with a new garment. And they too were alone in the field. And Ahijah caught the new garment that was on him and rent it in 12 pieces. And he